Hello, welcome to www.thelochofmaymonster.co.uk. You meet us here in a harbour, and in the harbour is this Broch, a small little building, very ancient, as ancient I believe as the pyramids themselves. Now I'm going to read the story today in the Broch with my three children. This is Jacob, if you remember, and Zach, and Gabby. Now they're a little bit scared being in this Broch, so we'll try and tell the story as quickly as we can. Now, we left the story, if you remember, with Gabby, or Abby, I should say. Abby was just stroking a little horse, Binny, and she was having some interesting thoughts. Zara, one of their mum's more interesting friends, worked at the Castle of May. She tried to explain something to her mum about a green ghost. A green ghost. It glowed in the darkness. A green light in the darkness. That's exactly what Doug had said. A green light of darkness. And that's what he'd been pointing at. He'd been pointing at the castle. But how did he know about the monster? And why did they have to see a ghost? Abby dropped the brush. She didn't want to see a ghost. That was worse than touching a spider. Are you thinking about Sky, Abby? Jimmy asked, picking at the brush Abby had dropped. No, I was thinking of spiders. Oh, yuck. Don't think of them, Abby. I hate spiders, nearly as much as I hate cleaning out chickens. Was that what you had to do because of letting the dogs out? It's not fair. I always get jobs to do and it's never my fault. But you did let the dogs out, and you left the yard in a mess, and you took Greg's torch, and... Abby, stop! 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 Stop saying that! Don't like you. It's never my fault. It's not fair. Abby, I think the egg is doing something, but I'm not showing you now. Bye. Jimmy stomped off. Oh, Jimmy, please! Tell me about the egg, Jimmy! Jimmy! OK, but don't tell Greg. You mean, don't tell me that the egg is hatching, Jimmy? Greg said from behind them, holding the egg. Greg! Where did you come from? Is it really hatching, Greg? How did you get it, Greg? Jimmy, I found it in your toy box, by the radiator, when I was trying to find my soldiers. When I opened the lid, it moved on its own. And it looked like it had started to crack. Hey, it has cracked. Come on, let's get to the treehouse. Come on, now! I'll put Binny back in the field, then I'll come straight up, said Abby. Come on, Jimmy, let's go. How did you know to put it by the radiator, Jimmy? To help it hatch. Well done, Greg enthused. That's what Daddy does with the turkey eggs, except the incubator was too small, so I put it in my toy box by the radiator. Behind the Croft house, and protected by the cold northerly winds by 4 large sycamore trees, a huge tree house nestled. The sycamore trees reached out like old gnarled hands, groaning with the breeze, and sprinkling what was left of its brown crispy leaves to the floor. Autumn was swift and unforgiving. The tallest branches that dared to reach out above the house were already stripped bare by the wind. In the furthermost mangled tree, a few feet above the ground, was a small tree house, made with bits of wood and an old horse box. By climbing up the middle of the tree and twisting your body around the branches, you could enter through a small hole underneath the house. Too small for adults, but an exciting struggle for children. Greg, Jimmy, and finally Abby squeezed into the tree house through the tiny entrance and started to speak in excited whispers as they struggled around in the darkness. 1, 2, then 3 torches lit up the treehouse and finally a small oil lamp was lit that hung on a loose nail from the wall. Okay, now this is what I think we should do. Why is it always you that makes the decisions? Said Jimmy. Because I'm the oldest and you still wear nappies. No, I don't. You smell like a nappy, Jimmy whispered as loud as he dared. Anyway, continued Greg, frowning at Jimmy, let's make these blankets and things into a large nest. When it's born, it can keep nice and warm in that. It might want water too, and something to eat. What should we get it to eat? Said Abby. Baby food or baby milk or baby fish, replied Jimmy. Baby fish? Said Abby. Well, I don't know, do I? Replied Jimmy, sounding hurt. Greg looked at the few supplies they already had. Some biscuits, some old birdseed, and half a plastic bottle of iron brew. Look, Abby, you get some water and make sure it's clean and boiled from the kettle, and get something small like a baby's bottle or a syringe to feed the baby monster with. And Abby, don't let anyone see you. What about me, Greg? Well, if you really want to help Jimmy, find something it might eat, like maybe sardines or tuna or something like that. And quickly, I think it's not far from hatching. Come on, quick! Greg listened to the egg crack once more. Okay, I'll find something. I'll find something you'll like. Jimmy rushed off through the hole in the floor. Greg held the egg tightly in a small blanket and watched the movements as the small something tapped away at the shell. It wasn't long until Abby and Jimmy reappeared at the entrance, gasping for breath and laden with food and water. I got loads of water. Mum had just boiled the kettle, so I said I was cold, and she put it in this hot water bottle for me, said Abby, who took out a brown teddy bear from her coat and pulled a small white hot water bottle from its belly. Good. Now we need to cool it down a bit. Did you get something to put in its mouth? Yes, I got one of the bottles Daddy uses for the lambs, Abby replied. Well done, Abby. I got everything that has fish in or milk, said Jimmy, and some pasta too. Mum always says it will make you grow. You can't eat that stuff. It's hard, unless you cook it. Oh, Jimmy, laughed Abby, looking at the bag of pasta twirls. It can, Abby. You don't know what it is. Maybe it'll eat you. No, it won't. It's too little. And anyway, it'll be kind, like Sky. It might eat you, even if it's little. Compies eat people on Jurassic Park, and they're like little chickens. Hush, you two. Can you hear that noise? Between the faint cracks and taps on the shell, a small whistle could be heard. The whistle grew louder and louder and vibrated through the whole tree. The children became mesmerised by the egg as it began to glow with every colour that they could remember. It seemed to grow, then pulsate, then suddenly a bright flash of white, and they were gone. But mysteriously, they were also still there. Something within the egg, some power, some energy, had made them completely and utterly invisible. Abby? Greg? Where are you? Where are you? I'm scared now. Where are you? Jimmy's voice quivered in the darkness. I'm here, Jimmy. The light's gone off, that's all, answered Abby. I'll light it, said Greg. It's so dark. I can't even see my hand. Ah, here we go. Greg lit the oil lamp once more, and slowly it absorbed the darkness once again, and filled the room with a warm yellow glow. 4 small shadows loomed up from the far wall for no apparent reason and began to talk. Abby, Jimmy, where are you? Where's the egg? Where's my hand? And arm? Where is it? Greg said in shock. Where is it? I'm here, Greg. Where are you? Where are you? And you, Jimmy, stop hiding. It's not fair. You're always playing games on me, Abby replied. I'm not playing games. Abby, I can't believe it. My body's gone.